Hello beautiful souls, welcome to my channel and welcome to the last pick card reading of 2025 on this channel. So as this is the last pick card, of course it's gonna be about what's coming through next year, what's coming into your life in 2026. I'm very excited about this year. I'm not very well acquainted with Chinese astrology or like any other astrology apart from Western, but I've heard in so many um, clips and videos about 2026 being the fire horse year, and apparently it's really good, and I just got very excited. So I'm doing this pick a card, and in each pile we're going to look into general themes first, like what you're going to be dealing with in 2026, and then I'm going to narrow it down with a little spread for love, a little one for career, and another one for wellness and spirituality. So this spread, the last one for wellness and spirituality, is gonna be not just about like health and going to the gym and things like that, but how can you feel good in 2026 in your soul, in your heart, with your spirit, you know? How can you feel good on a soul level? What does it look for you in 2026? How can you achieve it in a way? So if you're interested in that, stay until the end. Also, I have prepared mini horoscopes for each rising sign. Of course, you can check out your moon and sun, but the rising is the most accurate. And also, if you know your chart and your rising is into the later degrees of the sign, it's best if you check the next sign. So for example, if you're Leo rising, the next sign is Virgo. So if you're like 15 or 20 degrees Leo rising, it's great to check out Virgo too. These horoscopes will be available at my shop on my coffee page, so you can get them there. And yeah, that's all I have as in introduction goes. As far as introduction goes, let me show you the crystals, because we have 4 piles today and each pile is represented by crystals, not actual cards, because I'll be going freestyle pulling cards from different oracle decks and tarot decks for every pile. Okay, so pile number 1, this beautiful rosy crystal. I am sure it's a rose quartz, but I'm gonna call them by their colors because I don't know the names of the rest. So this rosy crystal, which I swear it's more pinkish in real life than on camera. This one is really beautiful. I love it. It's like frozen ocean water. It's so gorgeous. This is pile 2. I didn't say pile 1, pile 2. Pile 3, you have this gorgeous like golden orangey yellowish pyramid. Actually, this is like the bottom of the crystal, which I love. It's so sparkly, it's so beautiful. And then I put it this way and I realized, oh, it's actually a pyramid. And yeah, it looks very naturally formed this way. So this is gonna be for pile 3 if you're a Gemini. And just a little suspicion that my intuition has that Geminis are gonna be pile 3. And here we go with pile 4. You have this very interesting, as you can see, half and half crystal. It's all about duality, balance. The water signs might be drawn to this one. So this is pile 4. Okay, so these are all the crystals. Go into the timestamps below. And check out the timestamp for your pile. They will be at the bottom of the description box, as well as the comment section and a pinned comment. As always, I will see you in your reading. Hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. So if you guys chose the pink crystal, this is gonna be your reading. First, actually, I lit this up so we can have like a nice scent around and a little bit of smoke to cleanse the space, but for some reason, okay, now I think it will work. For some reason it stopped burning. Well, maybe you pile 1 have felt like your spark has not been right. It's not been going well maybe in 2025, and you hope that you will be more inspired and things will work better in 2026. Maybe you hope that your fire will be rekindled. Pile 1. Let's see. What are the general themes of 2026 for pile 1? What will you be dealing with? What are you going to be facing? What people will come into your life? What events? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you might be surprised by something, pile 1. Something might literally fly into your life and shock you. And it feels like it's almost like something will hit you on the head after there's this expression, I think, something flying above your head or over your head. So basically when you don't pay attention to something or you kind of miss something, well, I feel like that will really knock on your door. So anything you weren't paying attention to in 2025 will come up into your life again in 2026. We've got power. Yes, there will be a rekindling of your fire. If you feel like you've lost your power in 2025, this will be back in 2026. You're gaining your power back. I think that in many situations where you felt powerless, out of control, like you depended okay, on other people, on external circumstances, I feel like now it will be very much all about you, your choices, you making something happen. And I know this can be a little scary, but I think that you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting to be the one who will have say in your life and dictate how things happen, because maybe they've been happening to you and now you want to make them happen yourself. We've got too many cards here. What can you expect? What can you expect in 2026, pile 1? Wow, healing chaos. This is very interesting. You have a storm, you have a tornado. Oh my gosh, and finally you have like sunshine. These cards are so very symbolic going forward. I love that. So the beginning of 2026 will definitely be a treacherous path where you will be fighting to gain your power back. I'm not gonna be lying to you, like I'm gonna be honest, you know. I do see that gaining your power back will take some time and effort on your end, and healing chaos is also not it's funny because you have butterflies, but I was going to say it's not butterflies and rainbows, but the butterflies are still there, and finally there will be a symbolic rainbow or like sunshine at the end of this tunnel. But yeah, the beginning of 2026, you're gaining your power back, you're fighting against the odds, and you will come out successful from this experience. So there are challenges that you might have been pushing away, pushing for later, and finally you're facing them, finally you're doing them, you're finally moving forward after being stuck in one thing, one area, one career path, one relationship, like some sort of routine that you were tired of already and you wanted to move out from. I do see you going forward with this, like moving on from it. And yeah, okay, let's see, what do we have? What are you facing in 2026? 2026 feels very much like it's for you guys, ruled by Uranus. You may have some major Uranus transits and aspects between Uranus and your personal planets. Law of attraction, okay. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing you as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Yeah, you won't be able to tolerate certain things anymore. I think in that sense, you're gaining back your power, because maybe you put up with certain things and finally you're like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. We have parents. Many of you will have dealings with your parents, or many of you may become parents in 2026. For those of you who are dealing with your parents, with release, with like this seizing of your tolerance towards things that you shouldn't be tolerating. I feel like many of you will say no, many of you will place boundaries with your family, not just parents, but family in general. And for those of you who are becoming parents, it feels like it's been very chaotic getting here, but the journey will be worth it at the end. And with the release card, 2026 will be a lot about releasing grudges and releasing the paths of your ancestors. So you're not meant to walk the same path, to repeat history as your parents did, as your grandparents did, as your ancestors did. You're meant to build a new path for yourself, like change the karma of the family, basically. And it's really interesting that you have Uranus, because Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter mythologically are involved in this familial karma where Uranus had to castrate or, symbolically kill. Saturn had to kill Uranus because Uranus became this evil sky god. Then Saturn himself was killed by his son, Zeus, which is Jupiter, or Saturn is Cronus, etc. So it's interesting that you have this planet as like the ruler of your 2026, at least energetically, it's how it feels to me, because it's like this is the beginning. And I think that you can prevent some things repeating in the next generations. You can prevent some things being repeated by your own kids if you stop the pattern now. In 2026, it will be a crazy year for like not continuing karma, saying no to karmic consequences, saying no to karmic patterns and cycles. What is your spirit animal in 2026? Like what energy and qualities, characteristics are you embodying in 2026, or should you embody? We have the fish. We have the fish with the moon. It's interesting because it's a blood moon. And again, whenever I think of blood, the color red, I do think of your roots, your ancestry, etc. Some of you may have Pisces moons, suns, risings, of course, with the fish. Some of you may also have like 12th house transits. The North Node in Pisces may be very active for you in your natal chart. But with the spirit animal guide, you're told to, of course, listen to your intuition, etc. Process your emotions, work with your creative side. Like, don't abandon your creativity, pile one. But the fish, it's on the tip of my tongue to say, oh, go with the flow, that's what the fish is about usually. But I feel like this may be a little bit different, so I'm going to read from the book. Okay. It's hard to find it for some reason. There we go. Restlessness, change of focus, lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weirdness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will suit your soul. When in balance, the fish is adaptable and travels well, which tells me you may travel overseas a lot, you may travel by water a lot on in 2026, and your life may be a lot more there might be a lot more movement than in 2025. I'm telling you, you're moving out of stagnation. That's probably why you have the fish. And it's interesting because it's almost like you're moving from one environment into another, and this change removes the stagnation from your life. So if you've been in one career or a relationship or city, let's say that was the earth, and now you become a fish, and water is a lot more you can shape it more easily, you can move through it with much more ease. It's much more easy to push through stagnant energy because water is not as dense as earth. So to me, it really feels like you guys are moving from earth to water, and 2026 is a lot about water. Even here we have her like in at the bottom of the sea or the ocean, because we have fish around her with the law of attraction. So yeah, you can no longer tolerate being stuck. You're definitely going to have opportunities to move in life a lot more in 2026. But of course, the warning here is make sure you don't exhaust yourself, because perhaps you'll be so excited about this new opportunity to move that you will move so much you exhaust yourself prematurely. So be careful with this. Make sure you find balance, okay? After all, the fish is very similar to like one half of the yin and yang symbol, right? And it's like you have one fish here, okay? And can you see like you have the little white dot in the black space? So this is like a little yang in energy. So you're that white energy, you want to move, you're the masculine energy in 2026, but you will be moving through an environment that is probably very feminine. It requires creativity, emotion, it requires rest, it requires depth. So many of you might be moving into a more expressive career, many of you might be starting that creative business in 2026, or simply you're more in tune with your spirituality and it drives every other action and decision in your life, and therefore everything in your life will be touched by this in energy. Because I feel like you've succumbed in 2025 or just past years in general to the illusion of movement. Oh, I'm gonna do this and this and that, and I'll be very, very productive. And that is like movement in energy, right? Masculine and whatever. But what I'm seeing is that it's like you were on a treadmill. You were moving a lot, but you weren't going anywhere. And it's gonna be very interesting to you how switching into more in energy, it will allow you to actually go somewhere and go places. Okay. To bring into balance with the fish. So this year, this is like your motto whenever you feel out of balance. This is your motto. Set a small goal and accomplish it. Set a small goal, a small task, and accomplish it. Whenever you feel out of balance, like you don't know what to do and how to do it in 2026, set a small goal. Okay? And lastly, what themes and topics and events are you facing in 2025 in general? And then we're going to dive into love. What themes and topics are you facing in 2025 in general? Unlikely, This is the angel answer, so some of the cards may not make much sense, but we're going to go intuitively with these. Hold on. I might be imagining, but I swear I see water horses around her here. Unlikely. You know, in 2026, there may be a path that you begin with, thinking that this has to be it. This has to be like the thing you're supposed to do. This has to lead you to the final destination, to the desired destination. But you will change your mind mid-year, is what I'm getting. Get more information. Yeah, before you start something, make sure you have the needed information on it. No, okay. So, pile one, whatever you're thinking about, like right now, like things that you have been planning to do, etc. Or maybe some of you, it almost feels like some of you are resisting change and you're like, I'm just gonna work even harder for what I planned and what I wanted to happen in 2025 and didn't. And the cards are saying, no, it's unlikely that you will keep doing the same thing and succeed, okay? And it's unlikely that things will happen the way you imagine them, especially if you imagine them from a point of view of stubbornness, like you stubbornly want something to make something happen, to keep it going. The cards are saying no, get more information. Also, this is about like contracts and offers in 2026. Get informed before you say no, of course, and get informed before you say yes. Get informed before you give answers, okay? But I do see you rejecting a lot of things in 2026. You might be rejecting people. You may finally open up yourself to go on dates, but you may happen to reject those dates after all. You may reject offers for work because you are trying to carve your own path. But I see you rejecting things, and maybe perhaps, maybe you yourself might face some rejections in 2026. You might be redirected, as I like to say, into something else, something that you did not expect, something unlikely might happen, you know, or something might happen in an unlikely manner. It's almost like you expected it to go completely differently, but then it goes the opposite way. But we have Archangel Gabriel with his trumpet over here, and he is the angel of prophecy, the messenger. So the fact that you have the snow, I feel like you will receive an intuitive, almost prophetic no, to get like a warning. I feel like you will be warned to say no to something, or you will be warned of rejection, and you may be able to spare yourself some hurt and some efforts. Like, for example, you want to work really hard for an interview, but the universe is telling you that's not the right place for you, just don't go. And if you listen, you may happen to spare yourself, you know, the effort to prepare for this interview. All right, now let's look into your love life. Pile one, your love life in 2026. Three of Swords. You're breaking someone's heart, I feel like. Six Wands. And this may happen publicly somehow. Hold on, Two of Swords and Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you're breaking up with someone after them not being able to make up their mind for too long. And I feel like this breakup will affect their social circle and social status. They couldn't make a decision. They were torn between you and someone else, perhaps. And you just thought to yourself, I've been waiting for too long. Too long. I quit this. I quit this relationship. I quit this situationship. We have Three of Pentacles. We have Archangel Gabriel coming through again. You may be working with him a lot in 2026 with the Judgment. And we have Six of Swords. All right. Okay, this is a little tough, but there is a potential rejection here, specifically from art school, is what I'm hearing for those of you who want to apply for art school. But I also see you moving on from someone from your past that tried to rekindle things in 2025 with you. Maybe you broke up in 2025 and then they tried to rekindle things, but you've moved on already, and it's like you've been moved on for very long. You've been over this person for quite some time now, and the message here is in 2026 really don't return or try to rebuild old things. It's gonna be absolutely pointless. I see an Aquarius, a Capricorn, trying to come back and rebuild something with you. And the answer you should give them is no. What about new relationships and new potentials? Spirit. Okay, we have a card that flipped. We have the World. You guys, do not underestimate the chances of like a foreigner showing up in your life, finding love in foreign lands. With the World card, this is also about Saturn, and this is interesting because I have a very, very specific message coming through. Some of you will be working for like a father figure, an authority figure, someone that you respect outside of work, okay? And you start working for them, and I see you finding someone through work, romantically in 2026. But it's like, for example, you work for your dad's company or something, and you find love there. I'm getting this strange, like, finding love through an authority figure, through a family member, an older family member perhaps, in 2026. And we have the Moon. Okay, Saturn and the Moon is interesting. Of course, the Moon is the mother. Moon is about secrets, nighttime. Oh, this is definitely about time zones and like a time difference. It feels like you will be on both ends of the world, or you rise up when they go to bed and vice versa. That type of energy. So there is long distance for many of you in 2026 when it comes to love. And Spirit is saying, open yourself up to finding love in unexpected places. For some of you, the moon with the world, like this screams secret admirer, especially how she's framed here. And it's almost like someone watches you from the shadows, almost like someone anonymously, maybe like watching your social media. Someone may admire you from afar. There is the secret admirer energy. They see you with your friend circle, they see you with your people, with your community, and you know, it's like they wanna be part of this. They wanna be part of your world in a way. In 2026, when it comes to love, I feel like honestly someone will manifest you and not you manifesting them. I see someone manifesting you, pile one. So to a degree, let yourselves be manifested, okay? You have the Queen of Swords. This is again about communication and social media and lots of texting. So I definitely feel like swords are about information, languages too. I definitely feel like you will have this language barrier that you will need to break down with a potential future partner, or a cultural barrier too. That could be it. But in 2026, you're opening yourself up to circles of people, groups, and locations even that you used to be closed off to in the past. One last card. Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about crossroads, picking your journey, you know. So your love will be deeply affected by the journey you pick, the journey we spoke of here, that new path of like self-empowerment that you need to walk. This. But this is also about, the Two of Wands is about joint power, okay, and joint leadership. So in 2026, you may finally find an equal, someone that you can be in an equal partnership with, someone that you feel like you can build with, and you're not just building alone. Alright, so I think that's all I have for love. Let's move on to career. What can you expect in your career, pile one, in 2026? Yeah, this is where the big change is happening. The big transformation, gaining your power back. The big healing the chaos energy. It's happening in your career, for sure. But this is interesting, I'm hearing. In 2026, you need to use the death of something, career-wise, as a stepping stone. Use the ending of something as a stepping stone into the other thing. The Chariot. Oh, career-wise, you're definitely going places in 2026. I feel like you're gonna have a much better position after these endings. You're gonna have a much better, you know, just career going on for you. Because the Chariot is about accomplishing goals, overcoming obstacles. And you have the Ace of Cups, which is abundance. You will be emotionally fulfilled by your career in 2026. And I think that's also the goal of 2026, okay, to be emotionally fulfilled. So don't let yourselves settle for less or accept less and be like, well, it could be worse, you know, I'm just gonna settle for this. No, no, no. You have to really fight and work for what you actually want, because in 2026 it's very important that you're fulfilled by what you do. It's not gonna be enough to just you know, kind of, what's the word, get by. I'm not sure if that's the expression, but it's not gonna be enough just to have some job, whatever it is. Two of Cups, and it's interesting because elephants are symbols of abundance. This is about collaboration. This is about unification, combining things. You could be combining skills. You could join businesses. You could join your idea with someone else's. You could join, you know, materials and resources with someone else's to invest into something together. But definitely 2026, you should not shy away from collaboration. We have Eight of Wands. People will reach out to you in 2026, okay? And we have the King of Swords. In 2026, I see you doing a lot of organizing, a lot of learning, a lot of managing people and things and resources to make sure everything goes in the right spot and everything functions in the right way. Whatever hierarchy you're moving through career-wise, it's time to move up. Some of you may be promoted, and like that death is like metaphoric because you're going from one level to the next. But I feel like for some of you, it's time that you step up in a more leadership position when it comes to career. Rather than someone who follows orders, you should become someone who gives out orders. In 2026, with the King of Swords, you have, and with Ace of Cups, and you see that lotus that represents the opened crown chakra and the blossomed, opened, like higher senses. Well, it's almost like that Lotus is either coming out from the Ace of Cups or it's dipped into the Ace of Cups. And with the King of Swords, this is giving me like high intelligence. In 2026, your ideas, your mind will be very sharp, your ideas will be very on point, you will be in tune with the needs of the collective a lot. And in 2026, your ideas will shine very brightly, people will notice them. Okay, so don't shy away really from putting yourself out there. With the Two of Cups, especially if you work one-on-one with clients, there will be a lot of that, okay, one-on-one work. But with the Eight of Wands, this is more about like shooting many shots at once. It's like shooting multiple arrows with one shot. So this is about, it's great to have one-on-one clients and work one-on-one with people if that's what you want to do. But 2026 is definitely about finding ways to expand things, to make things reach more people. And it feels to me that a lot of people will fill your cup, pile one, career wise. I think a lot of people will love what you do and they will love what you put out into the world. Now, with the King of Swords, of course, for some of you, this can be about a collaboration with a masculine figure. It can be about a collaboration with a partner, potentially, or a brother, a close friend. But it's a masculine figure with very cold, calculated intelligence. Someone who is very practical, someone who is very analytical. And this is about really, you have the King of Swords. 2026 is not the year of learning new skills and mastering new craft. It's the year of putting into work the skills you've already mastered, or putting out there things that you've already created. Like, these are things you've already mastered, accomplished, things you're already good at. It's just about putting yourself out there with these skills and creations, you know. With the King of Swords, there's a sense of maturity. You've already matured within certain fields. It's just time to make those fields recognize you, to nurture your growth, okay? Nurture yourself. It's like, again, with this Lotus, it's like dipping inside the waters of this new field, again becoming the fish. You're moving out of the earth and you're moving into the water. And with the Chariot, this is a message of don't stop, keep moving. Career wise, don't stop, keep moving. Even if you slow down in other areas of your life, just as the fish, you know, told you, hey, do not exhaust yourself, do not burn out yourself, because movement can be exhilarating, but you can burn out yourself. When it comes to career, though, you have the Chariot, so this is really the energy of like continual movement. You keep going and keep going. You have the Star. I love that. You guys will attract a lot of attention career-wise in 2026. You will shine for what you've already mastered. Not things that you're mastering. You will shine for what you already know, what you've already mastered, period. Okay, finally a little wellness reading. Hold on, I think I'm gonna use a different deck for this part. Alright, so what do you need to do, pile 1, to feel good in your spirit, in your soul? What do you need to do to feel good in 2026, in your spirit, in your soul? We have compassion, the art of soul healing. Is that it? Living, soulful living, okay. We have compassion, we have the dolphin, the oceans, the compass. With the dolphin, this to me speaks about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And usually you don't need people to be just like you, right? To like them or to have great conversations with them. But this is definitely about finding at least some people in your life that you share hobbies with and interests with. And even co-creating with these people, you know? What do you need to do? What do you need to focus on to feel good in your soul in 2026? We have power again. Okay. The mantras. And we have power here. Hold on. Well, this reminds me of like the magic wand of the magician in tarot. And of course we have this moon here. You know, perhaps take a bit more seriously manifestation in 2026. Not just this silly thing, or maybe not just this overly serious thing, but like a ritual that makes you happy. Just do it for the mental health, not even so much for the results. And actually notice how results do happen. One last card. Meditation. Okay, so more manifestation, more meditation are like activities that you need to incorporate in 2026 regularly into your life, not just once a month, but more regularly, at least once a week. And then with compassion, I told you, just more like-minded people is what I was sensing for you. People that you share hobbies, interests with, creative talents with, and people that you can co-create with as well. Definitely a collective creative experience would be really, really good for you to have these, like maybe regular dates where you guys take different art supplies and whatever materials you have laying around the house, and you gather all of you and you create stuff together. That's something that you really need in 2026. And I feel like you need that because I think you need community that inspires you to keep going with your projects in 2026, you know? So that's why look for people who also have these creative projects just like you, so you can motivate each other. Alright, pile 1, this was your forecast for 2026. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it resonated. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you have an amazing 2026, and I will see you next year. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your forecast for 2026. Let's see what's coming into your life. And first, we're going to do a general reading, general themes of 2026. What can you expect? Events, people. What can you expect in 2026, pile 2? I'm seeing wounds being wrapped up. So a lot of healing for you guys in 2026, I feel. Some big major wounds, you are working on them, you are finally closing them. Alright, we have community. So you can expect that you will be invited to all these places, all these parties. People will want you to be part of their life, and it feels like it's the right thing to do as well. We have taken risks. Okay, pile 2, 2026 for you is definitely about getting out of your comfort zone, connecting with people much more than usual, even if you're introverts, even if you don't have much of a social battery. It's a must for your 2026. And we have change, and look at these beautiful colors. Alright, so the people in your life, the scenery in your life in 2026 for many of you will be different. It will be changed. What can you expect? Workshops and seminars, crystals. Alright, so with workshops and seminars and community, this is definitely about, you know, connecting with like-minded people. This will be like a big team in your 2026, whether you want it or not. It will just happen, and Spirit is saying you have to participate in these groups and gatherings. You have to be, especially if you already have a community. I feel like in 2026 you're taking it to the next level where you're organizing gatherings and things like that. With the crystals to me is all about abundance, materialization. So lots of things are manifesting for you. Lots of material needs that you had in 2025 are finally coming through and manifesting in 2026. And we have the third eye chakra. For those of you who are psychics, your abilities will be very much on point. Also in 2026 you may have like some psychic or spiritual experiences that are way too real even for you, that may leave you spooked or just surprised that it has happened to you. But yeah, I see you peeking through the veil in 2026 and getting very clear messages or visions, hearing things, etc. What is your spirit animal guide for 2026? Okay, we have two cards. They both want to come out. We have the oyster and the firefly. Let me read about them. Oyster. Patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So 2026 might be the year when you finally put yourself out there in the public eye, when you finally film yourself on camera, etc. When in balance, the oyster feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, the oyster is reluctant, gripping, and clumps up. to bring into balance, share something. That's why you have community. In 2026, your community, your people that you share things with will be everything. And these are not just like, oh, this is what you will experience. This is like, how can you have a life-changing 2026? Build a community or open up to them in ways you've never before. Put yourself out there, really. The firefly is inspired and fantastic, yet fleeting. The firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, the firefly writes, creates, brainstorms. When out of balance, the firefly is burnt out and feels dull. To bring into balance, write a poem or draw. So, all these workshops and seminars, this is funny because I had a similar conversation with a friend yesterday. All these workshops and seminars and all these skills that you learn, what's the point if you don't use them and share them with people? What's the point? And there are many like conversations on what art is, but I find that in this century and in general, art is almost like sharing your art is almost like a duty of the artist. And I've said this before, but you rob people out of your creations when you keep them to yourself. You rob them out of the chance to interact with something that inspires them. Because you never know how one thing you create can inspire someone to make a life-changing decision themselves. So really, it's selfish to a degree to keep those things to yourselves, okay? So Pile 2, 2026 is about giving to your community, taking the risk to be open and vulnerable with your community. And I'm telling you, many of you will have many of your dreams crystallize, materialize, or many of your goals crystallize in the sense of like becoming more clear to you what exactly it is that you want. But you need to follow through on these moments of inspiration that are so fleeting and not miss out on them by clubbing up, by closing up and keeping your treasures to yourself, keeping your inspirations to yourself. Oh, right. So the topics are stepping into the public eye, sharing your talents. These are the topics of your 2026. Now let's get into, I usually get into love, but let's get into your career first, and then we're going to get into love. Because career, I think, will connect more with these topics. What can you expect in love in 2026? Have the Nine of Wands. Okay, you're almost there. In 2026, not in love, in career. Sorry, did I say love? What can you expect in career in 2026? In 2026, you're almost there. You're almost to the water. You almost reached it. To save the entire forest, to save your life is on fire, pile 2, and the water is just there. And you're almost there to reach it. But it's like, if you're grasping for two things at the same time, you see, you're never gonna get to it. So career-wise, you have to sacrifice something for the sake of something else, something that is much bigger, something that is life-changing and life-saving, probably. We have 4 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Do not hold on to safety and foundations in 2026. It's about taking risks. And you have the 3 of Pentacles. You know, the 3 of Pentacles is about, we're still in the process of learning something. And I know that when some people are still in the process of learning, they don't want to show it. But that's gonna be your risk, pile 2. In 2026, even if something is still raw and not perfect, you're supposed to start talking about it. You're supposed to share it. You're supposed to put it out there. It could be your portfolio that is not perfect. It could be your CV that you feel like you don't have enough experience to put on it. Still, make it and show it, share it, you know, share it with the right people. Career-wise, you're taking a huge leap of faith, a huge risk, where you're letting go of a foundation and you're jumping into a field where you're still learning, you're still finding your way around it, but like, you're brave enough to still share that. Share the journey of mastering something. What can you expect career-wise in 2026? We have the Justice card. This is about contracts, interviews. 8 of Cups. This is about walking away from what no longer serves you. What can you expect career-wise in 2026? We have the King of Pentacles. Alright. And we have the 6 of Pentacles. Alright, you guys. You may not realize it right now, but there are people out there that would pay you money for your skills, whatever level they're on. After all, I'm gonna talk about money because after all, we're talking about career. So, there are people who will pay for your art, who will pay for your skills, who will pay for the way you translate things, the way, or if you're like, you want to be a freelancing, I don't know, advocate, like, okay, go do that. But there are people who would want you, no matter what you think of your level and your skills, etc., they would still put their faith in you. They will invest in you. And in 2026, I think that this is what you can expect career-wise if you put yourself out there. People surprising you with how much they believe in you, how much they benefit from you, how much they learn and gain from you, and how glad they will be after investing in you. This will surprise you, pile 2. Because that's the risk that you're taking. You believed you are not worth investing into, and you will be surprised. Some of you are throwing away an architecture path for something else. And others of you, I'm seeing you working with like botanic stuff, flowers, plants. I see you like having maybe your own business in that field. Like, I'm not sure exactly what the name of it would be or what the name of such a profession would be, but yeah, I see you working with flowers, plants, things like that. And for others, you do see an opportunity to speak publicly, almost in a like government institution of some kind. Do not reject this opportunity, okay? And we have the moon. Career-wise in 2026. The moon is really interesting, and specifically in your case, in this reading, I'm getting this energy of the moon talks about something you know of, a truth, a path, a future you know will happen if you make certain decisions, if you take certain steps. And it's almost like the universe is telling you, you already know what will happen. You already know things will work out. You can see the possibilities. You have like this gut feeling, but it's almost like you want to pretend that you don't have it. And that's what the universe does not agree with. Because you have that gut feeling. So don't pretend that you don't see the opportunities, you actually do. Don't pretend like you don't see the luck, the possibility, and the good future when you do see it. Spirit is saying, stop pretending like you don't know when you know. Okay, you know that you can go places. You know what doors certain skills can open for you. You know how to do something. So don't act like you don't. Alright, well, that was your career portion. Let's dive into your love life and see what's going on there. Love life in 2026 for pile 2. Love life in 2026 for pile 2. I'm picking up on a lot of Scorpio energy here. Maybe something is getting deeper in 2026 or something is getting exposed. Scorpio is about secrets being revealed, diving into the taboo. Alright. The Justice card, the Three of Pentacles, and Nine of Wands. If you want divorce in 2026, just get it, pile 2. I see some of you splitting ways with someone you had a business with, okay? And maybe it's been very difficult to decide how you're going to make it out on your own. But Spirit is definitely supportive of justice. And if you feel like you've been treated unjustly by a partner, it's time that you part ways with this person because they've been affecting your abundance as well. Some of you, it's time to be honest with yourselves if you've had feelings for someone else as well. 2026 is really, relationships wise, this year of like justice, things coming back into balance. Even the Nine of Wands in this particular tarot with the moon and sun is about balance, okay? So pile 2, if you have secrets, be prepared because they will be exposed. If you suspect your partner has secrets, be prepared because you will find out. We have the Queen of Swords. Oh, this is definitely some truth coming out. Four of Cups. And Four of Pentacles. Look, pile 2. If you've been in an unsatisfying relationship or a relationship that's been stagnant, Spirit is saying that you need to do something about it. And I understand if you don't want to leave the relationship, but you will need to figure out a way to change it, to talk to your partner, both of you, to do something about it. And if it's not working out, at some point you have to leave, because with the Queen of Swords here, I'm getting this energy of like gathering up information, courage, the receipts as to why you're leaving, etc. Almost like you want to have a good enough of an excuse and a reason. And Spirit is saying you don't need a reason. The reason can be just how you feel. Because the Four of Cups is about being, unsatisfied with something, rejecting things that come to you because they're not what you want. The Four of Pentacles again is about being closed off, holding back, being stuck. Like, you definitely have this energy of, hey, you've been in this comfort zone, but you haven't been really happy in it. And with the Justice card, if it's contracts that you're afraid of, like you have to break a contract with someone, this year is the year where you must gather the courage to do so. And for those of you who have been alone for a while, and you've been like working on your things, working hard because you depend only on yourself, 2026 for you, for those of you who have been alone, etc., again feels like an year of justice and balance. Wherever you felt robbed and like injustice has prevailed, things will be brought back into balance. Okay, justice will be brought back into this situation. you can expect great advice from this dark-haired woman here that we have in the face of the Queen of Swords. What can you expect in love and relationships in 2026? Ten of Pentacles. It's interesting. I don't see necessarily love and relationships, but I do see that if there was material injustice within a partnership, that will be balanced out this year, okay? Now let's ask about your wellness, your spirituality. Let's see, what can you expect? How can you, that's how I want to phrase it. How can you feel good in your soul and spirit in 2026? What can you do to feel good on a soul level in 2026? We have gratitude, soundscape, and positivity. 2026, it's almost like you are taking responsibility of your mental landscape. With soundscape, the message is you have been pushing your being too hard. You're being called to realign and shake off the lower lingering energies in your aura through the vibrational power of sound. So listening to good music or creating music. Everything is energy, everything is vibrating, and what we digest we become. The thoughts we think and the words we speak create a unique signal, and the universe draws back to us the frequency that matches our call. You know, 2026 might be really the year where you and your affirmations are like this, like best friends. You never part ways. You're always together, you and your affirmations against the world. Okay, about you, like, I think that's gonna be very, very important. With gratitude, of course, keep a gratitude journal, make this into a habit. And of course, you have positivity, which is about realigning your mental landscape with new thoughts, more positive thoughts, positive outlook on life. Because every thought is a seed that grows into a tree after all. So 2026, how you can feel good in your soul and spirit, it's not about the external things that you can do. It's really gonna be about the internal work. Okay, maybe you've been plagued by negative thoughts, negative inner monologues, and etc. And it's time to change that. And it's time to finally commit to change that, because maybe you've wanted to change that before, but you always come back to the bad habits. 2026 is the year when you really need to, like, listen to those affirmations before you go to sleep, you know, write them out every morning, repeat them in the mirror, etc. Really, that's what you need to focus on, your mental landscape, and find ways to change it. Alright, so about you, I think that's all I have for you and for your 2026. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next year. Until then, bye. Hello pile 3 and welcome to your 2026 reading. So let's see what's coming into your life this next year. We're going to do the general energies, the general themes and events and people that you'll be dealing with. Let's see. Okay, this one. We have potential as the first card. Alright, so in 2026, something you've already started is picking up a lot of momentum. You see things grow. Finally, you see that things have potential in your life. It could be about relationships. It could be about career. But you see that something is worth investing in. This might be something you started last winter, the winter of 2024. And all this year you've been maybe working on it, and now finally in 2026 you actually see results. We have wisdom, and we have action. With wisdom combined with the action card, this feels to me like whatever you're doing in 2026, you've been preparing for this, you've been studying for this, you've been practicing, you already have, or even you already have some experience, because wisdom does come from experience. It doesn't really come from reading about it, right? So I do see that your skills, your abilities are just getting better, you know, because wisdom to me feels like something being refined, like you're refining your skills, you're refining your craft, and it feels like you are diving deeper into something you're already good at, you already have experience in the field. So yeah, this matches very well with the potential card as well. So something you've already started is picking up momentum. You also have, like, you picked the pyramid. So to me, pyramids are all about, like, you know, building something up. And because we have this narrowing of space, where we get to the point of the pyramid at some point, right? It's like you are removing anything unnecessary, anything that distracts you in 2026, and you're really focusing on only what is important. Now we see this mermaid diving to the depths of the ocean, and then we have ocean waves again. What I'm getting is a lot of people don't know the type of work you've done under the surface. They only see above the surface the results that you show them. So in 2026, something you may deal with is perhaps being a little misunderstood. Maybe you will be blamed for, like, working too hard, not spending enough time with friends and family. It's almost like people see your results and they think that it's easy to get those results. So when you actually can't hang out, when actually you're very busy, etc., they may think, oh, but you're taking this so seriously, like, you just relax a little bit. So I'm definitely seeing how only you know what it's like to do this kind of work behind the scenes. By the way, in these cards I'm sensing very strong Aries energy and Sagittarius energy. And with Aries in particular, this is about being a pioneer, being a leader. Aries is all about, like, starting new cycles. So I definitely see like a new era of whatever you've been working on for a while now. You're entering a new era of it where in 2026 it just feels like it just really feels like finally it's taking off. Um, I'm trying to think of how Aries and Sagittarius come together because here I'm really sensing both. We have some 10th house action with this mountain here. 10th versus 4th house, that's what I'm getting. Of course, Aries and Sagittarius, they are not opposite signs, so they won't sit in the 10th and the 4th house. But like for you, Aries could be in your 10th house, okay? So Sagittarius would be in your 6th. I feel like this year, 2026, you will travel a lot for work. Or potentially, you will have to try out lots of different things to remember how I told you you were refining and you're throwing away distractions, but it feels like it will take some time of like trial and error, right, before you figure out what works. But in 2026 you're really figuring out what works by trying out different things and seeing which one works and which doesn't, because perhaps you've kept it very routine oriented, very in the comfort zone, your work, the type of things that you do. And in 2026 that is changing. You are introducing new things, you're trying out new techniques. You may have some important transits going through your 10th house, going through your 4th house as well. I see that in 2026 you're gaining a lot of independence from your family, pile 3. We have vegetarian. Your diet will be a big important thing. Maybe you will be doing lots of cleanses in 2026. You really want to get healthy. You really want to not just get healthy, but this is specifically about putting pure things in your body, like not putting chemicals in your body, you know? Past life issue, you see, if you have any like health issues that you've been dealing with for the past couple of years, of course this is only for entertainment purposes, so always consult with a medical professional. But here what I see is a lot of you are diving into the wisdom of your bodies, the subtle cues of your bodies, and you're making changes in 2026 according to these cues. And with past life issue, you realize how a lot of these struggles are rooted in unprocessed emotions that have been so stagnant. They go beyond this lifetime. They stem from lifetimes ago. Twin flame. Okay. This year, those of you who are on a twin flame journey will have activity going on in your connection with your twin flame. For those of you who haven't met your twin flame, you can expect to meet them. But 2026, even if for those of you who don't believe in twin flames or you haven't even heard of the concept, it's not your thing, let's say, you are definitely meeting with a soulmate. And twin flames, I always think of them as people that are supposed to have a shared purpose. So it's very likely for you, Pile 3, in the year of 2026 to meet someone that you share purpose with. They may have similar ideas to yours, they may be passionate about the same things, they may be passionate about accomplishing the same goals. Twenty 2026 is the year to do a regression if you haven't done it already, because here again, this mermaid diving into water, it's really giving 12th house energy, where the 12th house is the house of like spirituality, other realms, but also therapy, altered states of mind. So if you have been thinking about this, I think in 2026 you will finally find the right person to go through a hypnosis with, to do the hypnosis for you. 2026 is really the year to explore this, to explore your subconscious, to work on the root problem of health issues, specifically the emotional root problem. And 2026 is the year to perhaps figure out your twin flame journey. Figure out whether you want to move together or whether you want to go solo because you're not evolved enough yet to come together. Really, 2026 is the year to focus on all these things. And in the beginning, yes, career came through strongly. I definitely felt like things will be better for you career-wise. Like, the things you are involved in will be picking up momentum. You'll be gaining traction, gaining clients, or your salary will be raised, etc. But I think that much more relevant will be this like self-care, learning about again your emotional body and your triggers, and how does this impact you health-wise. Doing some past life regressions and meditations. I think that these will be very important themes as well to explore. And perhaps I think that this is maybe something you tried to explore in 2025 but you couldn't fully commit to, and you didn't see results from it necessarily, or maybe you saw very small results. Again, we have potential, so this applies to these things as well. Like in 2026, investing time and effort into figuring these things out, like these issues, you will see greater results than you saw in 2025. So do not be discouraged if you feel like you tried the meditation, you tried the hypnosis, you tried the therapy, but it didn't work really. Don't give up on it in 2026. Let's see what is your spirit animal guide for 2026. We have the turtle. Okay. Interesting. Because I think it was a Chinese myth, like the creation myth, how the world is and how it functions, and basically how the world is on the back of a turtle. But not just that, I'm thinking also of like turtles when they're born, how they're born in the sand and they have to really rush to the water or they may get killed. In 2026, again, I'm going to talk about career. Career-wise, it's really all or nothing. This could even be health-wise, but like you either commit to this run toward the sea, you either commit to get somewhere on time and like you give yourself a deadline, or what you've created gets killed. These issues that you're dealing with get exacerbated. Like 2026, you need to commit to a faster pace of action. All right. Even with your health, and I know that usually with health and wellness it's all about go with the flow, take it slowly, etc. But I'm seeing some more drastic measures needed here, because I feel like you've always played with things not very seriously. You kind of experimented, and whatever happens happens, that kind of mentality. But that mentality did not give you results, health-wise, spirituality-wise, your twin flame connection-wise, career-wise. And 2026 is all about, hey, you need a deadline and you need to like run for the sea, and you have it here, and you have it here. She has jumped right into it. You have the waves beaconing you, so you need to really commit to a faster pace. And it's funny because the turtle, especially a turtle on the land, is like the slow creature, right? We even have that tail of like the hare and the turtle, and who's faster. And the turtle is giving usually slow but steady type of energy. But with you, I'm getting really, because we have the sea here, and I really had visions of like how little turtles, if they want to live, they have to get to the water as fast as possible. So that's it. Like, there might be, in 2026, there might still be things that hold you back, right? The turtle is on land, it's difficult, and it's sand even, so, you know, you dip in a little bit. It's even harder to be fast on the sand. But they have to go at full speed despite all odds. And that's your 2026. You have to go at full speed, developing things, working on your potential, getting taking care of your health, and like getting to the root causes of all of it, but not slowly. You have to be very, very committed, okay? That's why you have the 10th house, and you had this Aries and Sagittarius energy. But with the 10th house, you also have Capricorn energy. You had Aries because Aries is super fast. Aries is all about go, go, go. Of course, they are known for not finishing things really, but that's why I sensed also this 10th house, because if you have like Mars through the 10th house, or Saturn in Aries and things like that, the desire to commit a bit longer to stuff, the desire to see things through is stronger. So yeah, this year really is about seeing things through fully, like not giving up just because you didn't see results right away, and also speeding up the action and setting a tighter deadline for yourself with everything. I'm still going to read about the turtle if there's like anything that maybe we missed. Okay, interesting. The turtle, ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. That's interesting, because remember how I told you this is giving 10th house and this is giving 4th house, Capricorn, Cancer. The 4th house is the house of the home, right? And the 10th house, this is the zenith. This is the highest point in the chart. This is the ascension of the soul, the 10th house. It's how we ascend in this lifetime, and therefore it's what we leave as a legacy and what we are recognized for. So you have ancient soul and grounded, at home in the self. You, the shell of the turtle, it's home. You're building a better home for yourself by taking care of your body this year, better than you've ever taken care of it ever before. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. Remember how I told you this wisdom that you will use in 2026 is coming from experience, not from reading the book about like a particular issue that you're dealing with, but because you tried to deal with it in 2025, in 2024, and now you have the wisdom of what works and what doesn't. So yeah, that's pretty much it right here. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. So, for some of you, this could be a very literal message that in 2026 you are writing your own book, you're sharing your story, you're connecting with others through your story. When in balance, the turtle is peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, the turtle slows down to a halt. You see, I knew intuitively that this is not about slow pace or slow and steady wins the race. It's like, this is talking more so about do not freeze, you know? Maybe that was your reaction in 2024, in 2025, when certain things did not work out. You didn't have like your fight or flight response was the phone freeze, like not reacting at all, not knowing what to do. In 2026 you can't afford to freeze because a bird is gonna snatch you out of the sand and eat you. So you cannot freeze, you gotta keep moving. To bring into balance the turtle, you need an adventure. That's why you had Aries energy but also Sagittarius energy, because Aries is interesting. They start something right, but when they can't finish it, they don't know how. I would say that they do freeze for a while. I have some Aries people in my life, and they do freeze. They kind of like stay stagnant for a while, and they wait for a new like idea that motivates them to start a new journey instead of figuring out how to finish the first idea. So that's why you had Aries plus Sagittarius, because Sagittarius, they are mutable fire sign. They don't wait around for new ideas. They go chase them. They go find them, like new ideas find them. Sagittarius finds new ideas. It goes both ways. But Sagittarius constantly moves. It finds adventures. It finds ways to liberate itself from the confines of fear and doubt and things like that. Sagittarius can be their own cheerleader. And sometimes Aries is a leader, but they don't know how to cheer themselves to keep going. And I think that's what the turtle is telling you. In 2026, you cannot freeze, and if you want to bring yourself back into balance, go on a little adventure quest. A retreat for 3 days, somewhere in nature. Give yourself a small challenge to overcome, and like then go back to the big one. But just don't stop moving. Because when you freeze, you become a target. You become a target for low vibrational spiritual forces. You become a target for people who don't like it to pick on you. You become a target for life. You become a target for even certain mental health states that are not good. So you gotta keep moving in 2026. Even if sometimes you stop moving toward your goal, you move towards something else just to rest a little bit, to recalibrate. Still, recalibration should not be stillness, okay? All right. Let's focus on your love life. And what can you expect in love? What can you expect in love in 2026? Wow, okay, this is so beautiful. Four of Wands. This is about building a home. So for some of you, I told you have the twin flame. Some of you will be dealing with your twin flame. You may move in with them, or you may move in with a soulmate. Doesn't have to be like necessarily the twin flame, just a deep soulmate journey that you will go on in 2026. But with Four of Wands, you're building a home with someone. You're moving in with someone, you're purchasing property with someone. You may not move in, but you're purchasing this property for your future. Four of Wands could be the year where you finally get married. Like, the Four of Wands is something about, I hope I pronounce it, I say the correct word, officiating, like a relationship. You may finally meet the family of the person you're with. You may finally make it official by, you know, engaging through an engagement. Something like this is happening where your relationship takes to the next level. It is interesting because what I'm sensing here is a lot of earth spirits around you and your partner. I don't know if both of you are nature lovers, but it's almost like I'm sensing like I don't even want to say fairies, but there is this nature spirits kind of energy. It's like the trees, the flowers are watching you. You may be building a garden in 2026 with your partner. Finally, maybe you've been dreaming about this, and it's like nature approves of this relationship. And another thing, in 2026, if you want to bond with a partner you already are with, really getting together in nature, doing something good for nature together is going to be very useful. Now, you have the Nine of Wands. All right. And the Ace of Cups. Someone has been maybe pushing the other away or acting a little bit cold, putting walls and distance between the two of you. This could be you, this could be your partner, because they're emotionally overwhelmed. I feel like one of you has gone through something very emotional. Maybe you lost someone, maybe you've been again dealing with health stuff, and this has created barriers. And I think in 2026 it's very important to take those barriers down. Okay, because the other person wants to get through to the person who is being closed off. I'm picking up on something. Of course, this is not for everyone, but I'm picking up on some kind of a surgery that was very emotional for someone here, and it's created a little tension, it's created a little reservations. In 2026, you're learning how to be vulnerable again, how to jump into the deep with your partner again. For those of you who are in partnerships, for those of you who are single, what I'm getting is that you're definitely meeting someone who, it's like you're on the same wavelength, but you still have your walls up. However, what I'm saying is that it's very unlikely that your walls stop this person from like proposing to be with you, like, you know, just offering that this is serious. With the Ace of Cups, this is always an offer, and it's usually an offer from the universe. So many of you will be blessed with a relationship this year if you've been single. And I feel like for those of you who are single, you might have been single for a while, because with the Nine of Wands, it's like You're keeping people away even when you want to let them in. It's instinct that you keep them away. But the universe will bless you with someone who patiently waits around, is what I'm saying. Patiently dances around your walls. Okay, we have the Fool, so definitely new beginnings in love. For those of you who are single, new connections. We have the Sun. The person you attract may have Leo rising or even Capricorn rising is what I'm getting, or Capricorn energy. And we have the Judgment. Wow, this is so interesting because you have these like minor arcanas and then you have three major arcanas right after the other. One right after the other. Like you have the Fool, the Sun, and the Judgment. Okay, hold on. Oh, in 2026, you are this new person and you require new things in love. You require new things from your partner. There needs to be an adjustment, okay? With the Sun and the Judgment card, I also see like recognition from people from your past. Pile 3, be careful because someone from your past who was a predator in the relationship, in a sense, like they had more power in the dynamic, they took things from you, etc. They may approach you in 2026. So yeah, there's someone that you were together with in 2025 or 2020, for just someone from the past is returning in 2026, and like they see you shine, they see that you have all these new things going on for yourself with the Sun card. They see you reborn essentially. But remember how long it took you to get your spark back from them after they diminished it. So be careful because you see this dynamic between the wolf and the rabbit. The wolf has stepped on ice and the wolf is heavier than the rabbit, and the ice is about to crack underneath its feet. The rabbit is lighter, but the rabbit trusts that the wolf won't come forth, while the wolf trusts that the ice will hold him. But he is coming forth. How this applies to you and this potential ex that I'm sensing here. The wolf trusts that your life is still fragile enough that you will need them. Your ex thinks that you still need them because there are still maybe cracks in your life that you haven't fully healed. And you trust that they won't come back. Like for those of you who are with that mindset, oh, they will never come back anyways, you need to consider what you will do if they do come back, because I feel like for many of you they will come back. So it's very important that you are firm on realizing that this is still a predator. Like you can't rely on external forces keeping this predator away from you, okay? That's the message here. You can't rely that, oh, they just won't come back, or someone will tell them that it's foolish to come back. They may still do it, and you have to rely on yourself to run away and to push them away. But your love life in 2026 will be reborn after it has been in the trenches for a while. whether this has been with the partner you currently have, or with the next partner, or your single life has been in the trenches. You're being reborn from that. It's like you're adopting brand new ways of reacting to people, and therefore you're attracting brand new types of people. Okay, so let's see what's going on in your career. All right, career. Career. What's going on with your career, pile 3? Okay, we have the 6 of Cups. So yeah, something that you're already doing, like something that is from your past, but you're already involved in it. It's not something brand new, but it is taking off. You can see this cloud rising. I love it. And with 6 of Cups, this makes me think that maybe some of you might start working with friends, or especially if you have your own business, you may invite friends and soulmates into your business. 6 of Cups is also about receiving gifts and blessings. So blessings are coming your way when it comes to career. You have the 5 of Swords. All right. Okay, be careful with whether you have your own business or you work for someone else. It doesn't matter. You can still fall into this situation where you owe someone something. Be careful with this dynamic, because I feel like someone from the past or even someone new might come into your life, offer you these great things, this help, these resources, etc., and you accept it. And then they're like, well, now you owe me this much, or something like this. So be careful with contracts and dealings with people where you are the one who ends up indebted to someone else. Think very carefully before you enter collaborations. With the Hanged Man, you definitely will need different perspectives and different opinions before you make a decision on who you collaborate with, who you share your business ideas with, and yeah, who you even share your business with, period. Like someone that you decide to work with, someone that you decide to become like a, what's the word, shareholder, like someone just who holds a part of your business, who owns a part of your business. We have 8 of Pentacles. In 2026, you need new perspectives about the way you do your work. Just as I told you, you're exploring new things and you're seeing what works and what doesn't work. Maybe you're putting out new products, maybe you're experimenting with like taking on new tasks to see if you get promoted or not, things of that nature. But with the Hanged Man, you need new perspectives, you need a new approach to work in order to achieve different outcomes from what you saw in 2025 and 2024 in particular. But I'm getting the sense of deadlines again. You know why? Because certainly the Hanged Man is about illumination and new perspectives. Yes, but I'm just thinking how when you hang with your head low for too long, it's like it's like your blood gets in your head, right? And you can only last so long before you suffer some damage from this. So with this Hanged Man, this feels like the Hanged Man is usually a pause, and a reflection. But for me, why does this feel like a deadline again? I feel like in 2026 you will hear from a lot of people, relax, take it slowly, don't stress, don't fuss over this. But taking it slowly is gonna be a bad advice. I'm telling you. Taking it slowly is just gonna be a bad advice. In 2026, there is some sort of momentum that you should not lose, and you should work really hard to keep it. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Moon, the Fool again, both in love and relationships you have, and career, you have the Fool come through. And Ace of Swords. Hold on. So there is some secret that's coming to the light. There is some intuitive, precognitive sense that you will have. Almost like a prediction that you will make for yourselves that will come true. So in 2026, pay great attention to your intuition, because you can really sense where things are going. You can sense if your boss is not happy with you. You will be able to sense if your coworkers are talking behind your back. You will be able to sense if you're doing good, if you're doing something that you should keep doing because people like it. Your intuition will provide you actually with lots of truths as long as you trust it, okay? And your intuition will allow you to step into the unknown, where most people fear to go because they feel underprepared. But your intuition will allow you to step into the unknown almost prepared. Almost like, yeah, it's the unknown, but your intuition has already told you things that will help you figure it out much faster. What can you expect career-wise in 2026? We have Saturn in Virgo. So this is Saturn in the 6th house. I'm telling you, you have to be consistent. This year is not an year for relaxation and being lazy and mopping around. No. And we have Venus in Pisces. This is a year where your greatest fantasies and like dreams can come true career-wise, only if you dare to commit to making them happen. Oh, wow. They all spilled to the floor. My gosh. Okay, I'm just not gonna take them. And I'm just gonna pull from whatever cards are left here. We have the Club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. Yeah, be careful with this Five of Swords energy. This is what I meant by, like, be careful what contract you're entering, etc. Because someone may try to force you into a contract, into a collaboration, into signing up or signing off something. You don't have to do it. In 2026 it's very important that you know your rights legally, so that you don't end up being forced, threatened, or manipulated into certain legal involvements, okay? Grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. That's with the Hanged Man. Alright, well, 2026, especially if you're working for someone else, you may need to balance, you may need to navigate between them and like a client, or you may need to navigate your work and your side hustle. And I feel like if you're working on a collaboration project while simultaneously you have your own thing going on, I think the person you collaborate with may try to manipulate you by blaming you, that you're not paying enough attention to this collaboration project, that you're selfishly taking care only of your own business. So that's why you have the grasshopper. You need to find some balance. And with the moon, manipulate them back. I mean, if someone is really trying to play games with you, you should play the game as well. You have the Nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Well, in 2026, because your career seems to be taking off like this, it's very important that your family supports you through it. We have love. Yes, yes, absolutely. Many of you may start working with your partners, which, by the way, can, it doesn't have to be manipulation, but it can still create this dynamic of like tension. And like, it's one thing to be partners, it's one thing when someone is someone's boss, or when you're doing business together and your money and your income and your stability relies on the two of you. Like, it's easy to fall into the shoes of it's easy to fall into the habit of like blaming the other person or whatever. So make sure you separate career from love. Make sure if some of these relationships happen to overlap, you act one way when you're together as a couple, and you change like personalities, if you will, or you forget that you're a couple when you're doing business, and vice versa. Make sure you have good boundaries. You see something else here. You see that bird in the cage? The cage is open, but the bird does not want to leave. And it's like you have Venus in Pisces, right? So it's almost like some of you may romanticize a situation career-wise where you're actually pretty stuck. That a career that you need to walk away from. For others of you, this could be like your dreams are waiting outside of this cage, but you are so used to it, so comfortable, that you convince yourself, if I keep doing the same thing, if I stay in the same place, I can still manifest these dreams. But you're supposed to fly out of the cage to go get your dreams. July will be very important for your career. July may be just a great month financially speaking, like you may make a lot of money from your business or something. For some of you, I'm also seeing like secretly going to interviews for a new job, or secretly like offering your CV to other places without your boss or partner knowing. And the message in the cards is, in 2026, don't let other people dictate your actions. So don't let your partner tell you, oh, don't quit your job, you know, you're supposed to be doing this and that. I get it, but what I'm picking up, I get why you would want to listen to your partner, but what I'm picking up from the cards is, this year you need to make your own decisions. You had this Aries energy after all. You have to make independent decisions. Alright, now that's it for your career. Now let's see what's going on with your wellness and spirituality. How can you feel good in your soul in 2026? What can you do to feel good about yourself, about life in general? Like, just feel good with your spirit. We have touch, the senses. You may want to invest into massages in 2026. We have fire. Again, this is about movement, really. Movement, but also passion, you know. Perhaps dancing is something that you will rediscover in 2026. And because we have touch, this is like collaboration, so you may go to dance classes where you meet new people. You really need active hobbies that introduce you to new people. Couple yoga with your partner could be really important for, like, you know, just feeling good, inspiring more intimacy in the relationship again. And we have smell. And tea therapy could be something you may want to explore this year. And specifically, like doing these tea sessions, right? Like learning how to do tea, perhaps in traditional Asian pots, and whatever the technique for brewing it is, like, you know, just getting into the details of it. But in 2026, really stimulating your 5 senses will be important, like going to massages. Physiotherapy might be something you will need in 2026 as well. Making sure it always smells good in your home. Making sure it's always warm in your house. Like, invest in warmth in 2026. Maybe you've been to a lot of cold places, or maybe you really didn't take care of yourself. Like, you didn't put enough clothes on your back to keep warm when you were out and things like that. Just make sure you're warm. In 2026, for some reason, that is important. And something else with fire, you know, I'm thinking of like fire in the body and how not to dilute it. So make sure you don't overeat. Make sure you don't drink things that make you hazy mentally, you know, because anything that feels like it dilutes your energy and stamina, you know, when you eat a little too much and you're like, oh, I just don't want to move, I just want to lay down or something. Don't do that in 2026. In 2026, try to keep your body as fiery and light as possible. And perhaps it will be really good to focus on your solar plexus chakra. Perhaps it will be really good to focus on, even if you do yoga, I forgot what it was called, but like there is this type of yoga where it's really kind of like a HIIT workout, high intensity workout. So maybe try to do something more high intensity in 2026 whenever you're doing some movement and working out activities. That will contribute to your wellness, that will contribute to feeling good in your spirit. But especially with fire, like, avoid things that make you feel lazy, tired, and sleepy. Okay, avoid them like the plague. Laying down when you're scrolling makes you feel sleepy, don't do it. You know, overeating at lunch makes you very tired in the afternoon, don't do it. Drinking alcohol after work makes you super drowsy the next day, or just in general, don't do it. Just avoid things that dilute you, okay? So that's all I have for your 2026. I hope you enjoyed this report. You can go into the description box and find your zodiac sign mini horoscope, where I focus with even more precision and detail, because this is based off the transits that will fall into your natal chart. So yeah, you can look up your rising sign and your sun sign. They are the most important. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in 2026. Bye. Hi Pile 4, and welcome to your reading for the next year, 2026. What can you expect? What will come into your life? So I put this deck here that I want to use later, so I don't forget, because I forgot it in pile 1 and 2. Alright, let's see. What themes are gonna be very relevant for you in 2026? What themes, events, people are coming into your life? I don't know why I'm hearing with this stone like being split into halves, kind of, coloring wise. I'm hearing a reunion, but specifically I'm hearing a reunion with siblings. So 2026, if you haven't seen your sibling in a while, they were off to study, or you've been, I don't know, separated for some reason, or you haven't had the time to see each other, 2026 might be the time when you catch up. So if there is like a big family trip, if there is like an opportunity to travel to each other, do not miss out on this. What teams, events is pile 4 facing in 2026? What's happening to them in 2026? We have the stand still card. All right. Happiness. Interesting. 2026 feels like the vacation you've been waiting for. The vacation you've wanted for a while. And we have the gateway with the unicorn. Absolutely. Even here with the standstill, this beautiful bird is like basking in the colors of a dawn or dusk, I'm not sure. But like basically it's basking in the glory of the day. And then we have happiness, and then we have a gateway. 2026 is about enjoying life. It's about being present. It's about saying yes to adventures, but not the types of adventures where, oh, a new job, what a great adventure. No, the types of adventures that are this gate. It's like a not gateway, but get away. Kind of experience where you get away from everything else, from life, from people, and you just spend time with your loved ones. You spend time in beautiful places. So if you've been saving money and like you've been wanting to go travel, you've been wanting to go on a vacation, you've been wanting to visit some place, but you've been holding back and you're like, not now, maybe I should save some more before I do it. 2026 really is the time when you should invest some resources and money and time into adventures, into vacations, and spending quality time, That is like the big theme of your year. Themes of 2026, events, people, for pile 4. Hold on, wait. Okay. Themes, events, people for pile 4 in 2026. What can they expect? I'm seeing clock. Manifestation power. This is such a beautiful card. We have again these like oranges and reds. You see? And purple and blue, just like here. And the sun, just like here. I love this. Okay, use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. Maybe you are finally manifesting this trip. Maybe it's on your vision board, like a huge trip, or a trip to some very expensive place, or just a place you've always wanted to go, but you never got to get there. You're finally going in 2026. Shield yourself, okay? Protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. Some of you might wish to travel to some places that could be potentially dangerous, whether the nature, the animals, the fauna of the place is like dangerous. So for example, I'm thinking Australia, or I'm sure there are other places like that as well. Or possibly you're traveling maybe to places with big crowds and like maybe some political tension there. So be careful, definitely make sure to protect yourself. Definitely make sure to like do a little prayer or whatever spiritual, energetic thing works for you before you travel. Emotional sensitivity and solar plexus chakra. All right. With the solar plexus chakra, I think that in 2026, yes, it will be much more active, but that's because I think 2026 you will have a lot more opportunities to be truly happy. With emotional sensitivity, I would advise you to maybe keep some distance between you and things and situations that disturb you emotionally, because perhaps you've been very invested in those things in 2025, and it's like yeah, we get it. You care, you're an empath, but it's time to care for yourself a little bit, okay? 2026 really is a selfish year, if you will, like you can call it that. But with the solar plexus chakra, yes, you need to care about the self. You need to put effort into yourself. You need to place boundaries for your own sake. So 2026 might be an year where there is like natural occurring distance between you and people who may cause you people who may disturb you emotionally, their presence, their lives. And I know it may sound a little bad, but honestly, be selfish in 2026. And if you don't wish to deal with someone's problems, you don't have to. Because I feel like you've dealt with people's problems enough in 2025. Let's see, what can you expect in 2026? Okay. We have an older woman dealings or a relationship with an older woman. So grandparents, specifically your grandmothers, could be significant in 2026. Or you could meet like an older woman that ends up to be a close friend of yours, and it may surprise you actually. Or you may have like a great host wherever you go, travel, whatever, like housing you pay for. The host might be really nice. It may almost be like that unexpected soulmate that you meet. We have April, so it's possible that you travel in April. Okay. It's possible that you see your grandmother or mothers in April as well. For some of you, you could become grandmothers in April. And we have also August, and we have the dolphin again. Hold on. Okay, so we have financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. I love how they didn't need to put the sun behind the dolphin, but they did, just like we have it here. Alright, I was going to pull from the Animal Spirit Oracle deck anyways, regardless of these cards, to see which animal will be your spirit guide for the year of 2026. But now I think I want to pull out the dolphin, and I want to put it here. I think there was a dolphin in this deck. Like, I'm almost certain there had to be a dolphin. And I want to read about it. Yes, I want to read about it from the guidebook. Okay. Okay, there you go. Dolphin. Innately intelligent, healer, light, blessings. Healer, comma, light, comma, blessings. Okay. So the gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they're sensitive to emotional sensitivity. As they're sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on its way. It's interesting because I would not have associated dolphins with blessings, but rather, with intelligence, music, community, things like that. But here you have, this card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. So in 2026, you're getting something you've wanted for a long time or you've needed for a long time, and it's finally happening. Some very profound, deep need is being met in 2026. When in balance, the dolphin is active healer, has a strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, the dolphin underestimates their own power, and to bring into balance, you need to meet like-minded spirits. So potentially this older woman could be this dolphin figure, like a conversation with her could change your life. Also, this is the cards are telling you that in 2026, it's like even when you are on this vacation or even when you are away from the rest of the world, you will still somehow meet people and be involved with people in such profound ways that it will be life-changing for them. And Spirit is saying in 2026 you'll be changing people's karmas. So many of you might be having some spiritual business blossoming. You might be meeting new people, but I do see that you will be changing people's lives for sure. Oops. Let's see what else wants to come through. This is also about pursuing some intellectual goal that maybe you've had for a while, but you didn't have the quiet and the time and the space to do so. All right. Younger man. Dealings for a relationship with a younger man. Okay. So a young man may enter your life. I will try to get more information on who these people are in the love and the relationships portion of this reading. What else can you expect? We have the ego, triumph over troubles and obstacles. I love that. Yeah, it is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. I think that's what you're doing in 2026. In 2026, you are finally marching to the beat of your own drum and not someone else's. And you have the sun being relevant in, oh wow, another one fell, in so many, like here. I think that's very significant, like the sun energy. I just feel that in 2026, lots of truths will be illuminated for you. Lots of your personal truths you'll be finally clear about. The sun could also indicate children coming into your life as well. Okay, we've got coins, money will be coming to you, and pineapple, reconciliation. Okay, you could be reconciling with a younger man, with an older woman, and money will be coming to you this year. That's good. Now let's pull, who is your spirit animal guide? I know we got the dolphin, but is there anyone else? Is there another spirit animal guide that you need to listen to and that you will be working with? The butterfly. I love that. Of course, butterflies are about transformation and metamorphosis, but let's see what else do we have from the guidebook. Undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same place and time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly spirit. Okay. When in balance, the butterfly is cheerful and graceful. When out of balance, it feels fragile and frustrated. To bring back into balance, you need some daily routine. The daily routine doesn't mean the routine of the entire day. Daily routine can be, as it said in the guidebook, one little thing, like how do you spend the first hour of your morning, or how do you spend the last hour before you go to bed. That could be also a routine, you know. Okay, let's get into the details of it. So butterflies are your spirit animal guides. If you notice them, you know that you're on the right path. And if you have the blessing to see dolphins, that too. And that is even more profound because I think it's much more easy to see a butterfly rather than a dolphin, but still. All right, let's see now, career-wise, what can you expect in 2026? I'm gonna use this deck. What can you expect in 2026 career-wise? Opportunities, career growth, personal growth. What can you expect in 2026? For many of you, I'm seeing like purchasing a new vehicle, specifically because even with the dolphins, I was getting this message and I was noticing, you know, the silvery coloring of their skin, and I was thinking, oh, a silver car. It has to be a silver car. So some of you who will be getting a silver vehicle, could be a car, for some of you could even be a bike that you've wanted for a long time. Or maybe some of you have a silver vehicle, a car or something, and you'll be traveling with it. Oh, wow. Okay, this one, like, it levitated. All right, we have Jupiter coming through career-wise. I love this. Conversation, persuasion, charisma. Jupiter is also abundance, expansion, luck. Jupiter can also be a bit overindulgent. So I feel like 2026, you'll be making really good money. You saw, let me actually, why did I remove it? I should keep them here. You saw the coins card. Money will be coming to you. So I think you will be doing very well financially. And I think you might be overindulging a little bit with your finances, but I feel like you've been waiting for this kind of freedom to finally spend your savings. Of course, don't be reckless. I always advise this, especially when we have Venus and Jupiter come through, because these planets can sometimes, yes, they expand, but they can make you overindulge past the point of healthy. So for sure, be still mindful, but like let yourself enjoy life, okay? Gift yourself these things you've always wanted. Go on that vacation you've always wanted. But it seems that your career will be doing pretty well, and it's possible that your company is expanding if you're working for a company. It's possible that also you will be through your career, somehow you might be introduced to people that later on are a great network and serve you very well and help you with certain things. So if you have a boss, your boss may help you out with certain things this year. Like, they may be very understanding, they may offer you new opportunities. And if you work for yourself, that looks really great for you. We have Page of Cups. Okay, this is interesting because this always to me makes me think of the Three of Cups, but it's the Page of Cups. All right, message of peace, hope, and optimism. You will receive good news career-wise this year. Good, exciting news. You know, for some reason I'm hearing something about expanding the lenses. So some of you could literally be getting new equipment for your work, and that is expanding the audience and the clientele you work with. Remember how I had that vision of the clock, and now we have the horologium constellation, time, milestones, progression with the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like 2026, if you let yourself relax, if you, again, I'm repeating myself, but let yourself go on that vacation, let yourself take some time off, indulge yourself a little bit, you will actually get to your milestones much quicker, because I feel like you need that happiness to fuel your passion and creativity. I feel like some of you have been working and building some big projects that will go worldwide, that will gain global scale recognition from all over the world. And we have the Death card. Two of creation, refinement, and configuration. And you have that butterfly here. You know this? Okay, hold on. Yeah, in this deck, this Death card is very different because it's literally like sculpting something. And we have Two of creation. You know, there is the saying that sometimes you... Hold on, wait. It's like sometimes you need to let some of your ideas die, but there was a particular phrasing. You need to kill your darlings. That was the phrase, where sometimes you need to kill your good ideas, or the ideas that are your favorite and you really want to do them, but you realize that there is something better out there, or like a project, a creation will do better without these quote-unquote darlings. Especially, for example, I don't know, you're writing a book, let's say, and you have a couple of scenes in mind, and one of these scenes is your favorite, but you realize that if you put it in, like, it changes everything, it kind of messes up with the whole plot you've structured so well so far. And sometimes you gotta kill your darlings to make the whole thing work and to work better. And 2026, it's like some projects may need to die so that you can keep up with your consistency and even expand in other areas that will need your attention. Like maybe you have this great idea about like a side hustle or a new product, but if you do it, you won't have time for the other things which are so lucrative and you still enjoy them, and they, you know, they do their job, they do what they're supposed to do, these other projects, and you're like, okay, maybe I should kill my darling, maybe I should let go of this idea for now and maybe revisit it some other time. Two of Wands, incubation, pregnancy, and nurturance. Yeah, the Two of Wands is like the Ace of Wands. You know, you have this one idea. The moment you connect this one first spark of inspiration to something else, it starts to build a web, a network, and then you connect a third idea and a fourth and a fifth, and at the fifth idea, like Five of Wands, things may start clashing and there is conflict. But at the sixth idea that you connect to it, like the sixth dot, imagine these dots that are connected to each other, things start to look very good and whole, and like you're going somewhere. And that's 2026 for you, is like you're connecting the one big idea to something else, and things finally will start making sense to you career wise, your path and where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do with your ideas and what you're supposed to do with your desires. In 2026 with the Two of Wands, it's finally not this like single inspiration that you don't know what to do with. It's finally like, oh, this idea, I know what to do with it. We have the Moon. We have the Seven of Swords. And we have the Judgment card. We have the Fish and the Fish Gold. 2026, your imagination is becoming more somehow practical, organized, like something you can actually execute in 3D, if that makes sense. And with the Seven of Swords, I definitely see that in 2026 you will have to overcome some of the voices in your head that are maybe negative or are telling you that something is useless to do or stupid or whatever. All these different opinions that clash within you, you will have to turn away from them and not listen to them. Don't give in to anxiety, okay? In 2026, when it comes to your career, anxiety is like your biggest enemy that you will need to fight. And I think in 2026, this may sound a little cringe to say, but you're catching a big fish in 2026, career-wise. Things really are expanding for you. Or you yourself will become a big fish in your field. But you will need priorities, because this expansion can distract you a little bit. Alright, now let's look into relationships. Which deck do I want to use? Okay, perhaps let's use this one. What can I expect in love, in relationships in general, just friendships, family? We have the Magician, and we have the Eight of Cups. Some of you, is this one card? Okay. Some of you might have divorced a trickster, or, you know, separated after cheating. And we have the King of Pentacles. whether you're a woman or a man, you are the King of Pentacles in 2026. You are becoming your own sense of home, safety, stability, etc. I see many of you have walked away from someone with lots of like Mercury placements maybe, or just someone who embodies that archetype of the trickster, a person who wore a mask, pretended to be one way but they turned out to be the other. And with the King of Pentacles in 2026, you're growing roots of love and devotion and like stability in your own self. Okay, maybe in the past you've tried to grow other people's trees, you've tried to grow a home with another individual, but in 2026 you're doing this on your own. And we have the High Priestess. In 2026, there will be lots of epiphanies and lots of wisdom that you will derive from this past relationship. And with the High Priestess, I feel like you will be transmuting your pain and sorrow into magic, into intuition, into this psychic attunement to higher realms. I definitely sense lots of magic for you in 2026. Like you will feel like you've become magical again, perhaps after a period of your magic being taken away from this other person. Knight of Pentacles. All right. Interesting. I think in 2026 you will meet someone who's like, they're not a king yet, but they're a knight, and you can, it's almost like they will remind you of a past version of you. And some of you may really fall for this. This could be a friend, by the way. It could be a romantic partner, but it feels like a friendship. You will form a bond with someone that reminds you of the old you, and it's almost like you sympathize with them because of that. But again, just know that it's not your mission to fix someone else's life, to guide them when they don't want to be guided, you know. But you have the dolphin again. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Remember how the dolphin types of people, according to the guidebook, are people that can change your karma. Once they show up in your life, they change your entire life. Well, you may be this person for someone this year. But just know that it's not your responsibility to be this person. It will most likely happen naturally, but if you think that it starts to drain you, you can still keep your distance. But yes, I do see someone who is like, I see a friend showing up in your life that will be very patient with you as well. Because it's like, yes, they are the old version of you. It's like you're their guide. But in certain areas, they can also be in the role where they are patient with you while you're figuring things out. So 2026, potentially, if this is like a love interest for some of you, this type of love may not happen immediately. It may be a friendship first and like exploring things together, but not really putting a label on it and being patient with each other to figure out what we want. And there might be many other not obstacles, but just factors playing into this relationship. Like maybe you don't know if you're gonna stay and live in this city where you met this new person, things like that, you know. And this person will be very, very patient with you in 2026. And I think it's a worthy friendship to keep. And some of you are manifesting finally that King of Pentacles, that person with like the resources, but not just material, the mental and emotional resources, the capacity that you've always needed and wanted. And it's almost like you manifested this person because you walked away from someone who mistreated you, and you manifested this person that will finally treat you right. But with the High Priestess, even this person you manifested is a test of your self-respect. So you should still keep up with the self-respect journey and growth, you know? Have the Seven of Cups. We have the Hermit. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. You will become a perfect match to this great person you manifest, but you will have to do inner work. Okay, so 2026, I told you, you will be very happy, much happier than you've been in 2025. You have to spoil yourself, go on these vacations, things like that. But in relationships, I'm not saying it's going to be difficult, but you will have to put more work in your relationships, is what I'm saying. And it's like career will go well for you naturally, while relationships, you will have to do more of like self-work, okay? Looking into yourself, asking yourself questions, etc. Being honest with yourself, doing the shadow work a little bit, not too much. 2026 is really not like a shadow work year, but I feel like many of you are meeting your equals, you're meeting your match. It's just that you will have to put into practice the wisdom you gained from a past experience if you want to keep this person. Now with these Seven of Cups, okay, this is for some of you, not for all of you. So some of you who resonated so far, maybe this will not resonate, but for some it will. In 2026, it's likely that there will be a little test before this King of Pentacles show up. Or this Queen of Pentacles to your King of Pentacles shows up. And this test will be someone who, with the Seven of Cups, is like half invested in your connection, but half looking for what's still out there, you know? And there will be tests in 2026, relationships-wise, specifically of your self-respect, okay? These tests you should pass if you want to have good, nurturing relationships this year. We have the Flute. Disappointment in a friend or lover. Yeah, at first in 2026, someone new may disappoint you, or someone maybe already disappointed you for some of you, but for some, this person will show up, this new person, this first person, they will disappoint you, and you will have to know that you should walk away. That's the test, pile 4. Basket, recognition, reward for merit. The universe will recognize you learning your lessons, okay? And you'll have merit. You'll have a reward for your merit, for your work, for your growth, but you will have to show it to the universe. With the High Priestess, it's like the universe is watching you. The universe is watching every step and every little thing that happens in your inner world. But you will have to showcase that inner world transformation into the external, so that the universe is like, okay, pile 4 learned this lesson. Here's the reward. Here is the answer to their growth. One last card from this part of the deck. One more, please. What can you expect relationships wise? Okay. We have the well. Family wishes come true. I'm not sure how to interpret this, because this could be interpreted as if you wished for a family, any wishes related to your family, building your own family, the family you already have, will come true. Or it could be interpreted as in whatever your family wants will happen and it will come true. But like, this is about familial happiness, you know? Family is happy in 2026 for most of you. Oh. Okay. What else do we got? What else do we got? We have the fox. Shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Okay. Weeping willow. Family sorrow. That's interesting. Somehow family will be very important, and I think I told you that at the very beginning of the reading. Family will be going through ups and downs, and it feels like after some family sorrow, you finally have like wish fulfillment, and it might be a very emotional journey this year for your family and you. And the key, successful outcome to your problems. If love was a problem for you, if love caused you problems, you will have success in 2026. You will have to be resourceful, even in your relationships. And I think the universe is telling you, you know, enough people that like have these skills, abilities, etc. Be resourceful when it comes to your networks in 2026. Okay. And finally, let's look into your wellness. What can you do? So basically my question I ask for each pile, what can you do to feel good in your spirit, in your soul? In 2026, what actions can be useful that you feel good spiritually? We have air. All right. I think I told you that there will be an intellectual pursuit, didn't I? Or was that pile 3? Hold on. Or with the dolphin. Oh, I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure if it was pile 3, to be honest with you, but air is about communication. It's about information, learning, studying, reading books. In 2026, carving out time for you to learn the things that interest you, even if these things, knowing these things is unproductive, quote unquote, if those are your interests, carve out time for this, okay? Because sometimes we learn certain things to feed our souls, not to be productive, not because we're going to put it in our next business or whatever, but just because we want to feed our souls. We learn certain things. So definitely with the air element, since we're talking about wellness and spirituality, this could look like reading some spiritual books that apparently it's not like a self-help book necessarily. It's not like anything that you can justify, you know, but it's something that feeds your soul. With air, I would even say laying in your bed and listening to music, you know, instead of laying in bed to, I don't know, read that book on your goal list for the year, or whatever, just listen to music. Waste your time a little bit. Allow yourself to have these moments of wasting your time. But this is I'm not talking about doom scrolling, pile forward. I'm talking about things that feed your soul, and music can be one of these things. Writing poems just for yourself, you know, things like that. We have kindness with the moon phases the dove. Interesting. Make peace in 2026 with certain things. Let them go and make peace. And we have space. Oh, you're definitely... in 2026, you're definitely diving into some spiritual texts connected to cosmic evolution, connected to astrology as well, like astrology of the soul, things like this. And this other message here is to make peace with what cannot be fixed, with what you cannot bring back or whatever. Just make peace with the things you know you must let go of in 2026 to feel good in your soul. Instead of fighting for maintaining something that wants to go, just let it go. So, pile 4, that's all I have for your year of 2026. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it resonated. Make sure to let me know in the comment section below, and if you want to, you can always go and check out your mini horoscope. That's probably gonna be even more detailed and accurate than the readings, because after all it's more narrowed. So yeah, check out your rising and sun. These are the most important signs. And thank you so much again for watching. I will see you in 2026. Bye.